Krishna, Gopa Gopinath, Shama Kund, Radha Kund, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Sri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text number 17. Iti Sma Raja Udyavasaya Yukta Prachina Muleshu Kusheshu Dira Adanmukha Dakshana Kule Aste Samudra Patnya Swa Sutta Nyasta Bara Itisma Rajaja Vasaya Yukta Pachina Mule Shikasesha Diraha Udanmukha Dakshina Kulahaste Samudra Patya Swasuta Nyasta Paraha Itisma Rachadya Vasaya Yukta Prachina Mule Shukasesha Diraha Udanmukha Dakshina Kula Aste Samudra Patnya Svusutan Yasta Bardaha Itisma Rachadya Vasaya Yukta Prachina Mule Shukasesha Diraha Udanmukha Dakshina Kula Aste Samudra Patnya Swasuta Yasta Baraha
Iti smaraja Javasaya Yuktaha Prachina Mule Shukushe Shudiraha Udanmukho Dakshina Kula Aste Samudra Patnya Swasuta Nyasta Baraha
Iti smarajatyavasaya yukta प्राचीनमूलेषु कुशेषु धीरः उदन्मुखो दक्षिणकूल आस्ते समुद्रपत्न्या स्वसुतन्यस्तभार
Iti sma raja devasaya yukta prachina muleshu kusheshu dhira Tanmuko dakshina kula aste Mudra swasutanyasta bharaha
Iti smaraj rajadya vasaya yukta Prachina muleshu kusheshu dira Udan mukho dakshina kula aste Samudra patnya swasuta nyastabharaha
Iti smaraja yavasaya yuktam Rachina muleshu kusheshu tiraha Udan mukto dakshina kula aste Samudra patnya swasutanyasta bharata
Iti smarajarya vasya yukta Prachina muleshu kusheshu tiraha Udan mukho dakshina kula aste Samudra patnya swasutanyasta bharaha
Iti smarajadhyavashaya yuktaha Prachina muleshu kusheshu dhiraha Udan mukho dakshina kula aste Samudra patnya swasutanyasta bharaha
Iti smarajadya vasayukta Prachina muleshu kusheshu diraha Udan mukho dakshina kula aste Samudra patnaya swasuta nyasta bharaha
Iti smaraja vasya yukta prachina muleshu kusheshu dhiraha Udanmukham dakshinakula aste Samudrapatnya swasutanyastaparaha.
Very good. Iti, thus, sma, as in the past, Raja, the king, Adyavasaya, perseverance, Yukta, being engaged, Pachina, eastern, Muleshu, with the root, Kusheshu, on a seat made of kusha straw, Dira, self-controlled, Uddanmukha, facing the northern side. Dakshina, on the southern. Kule, bank. Aste, situated. Samudra, the sea. Patnya, wife of the Ganges. Swa, own. Sutta, son. Nyasta, given over. Bara, the charge of administration. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In perfect self-control, Maharaj Pariksit sat down on a seat of straw with straw roots facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously, he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son. Purport. The river Ganges is celebrated as the wife of the sea. The seed of Kusha straw is considered to be sanctified if the straw is taken out of the earth, complete with root, and if the root is pointed toward the east, it is considered to be auspicious. Facing the north is still more favorable for attaining spiritual success. Maharaj Pariksit handed over the charge of administration to his son before leaving home. He was thus fully equipped for all favorable conditions. Rupa Goswami says that one should accept everything favorable for devotional service and reject everything non-favorable. So Maharaj Pariksit, he's a perfect devotee. He was following all the Vedic rules and regulations strictly, and he was perfectly Krishna conscious. And I joined New Vrindavan in 1973, and at that time, every devotee was sleeping with the head facing the east. And the north is considered to be auspicious because Maharaj Dhruva's planet, Dhruvaloka, is what the astronomers call the North Star. And the Dhruvaloka is a spiritual planet, and even after this universe is annihilated, Dhruvaloka remains eternally. And kusha grass is auspicious substance. Kusha grass is a type of grass that grows in brackish marshes in Africa and Southern Asia. And Lord Buddha attained perfection when he was sitting on a seat made of kusha grass under the Bodhi tree. And also in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text number 11, Lord Krishna says that to practice this yoga, one should go to a sacred place and should lay kusha grass on the ground. The word Krishna uses is kushotaram. Kushotaram means kusha grass. And cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. So kusha grass is important in the Vedic rituals. The priest during sacrifices, he wears a ring of kusha grass on his ring finger and a tie. And whenever there is an Agnihotra, a fire sacrifice, the kusha grass is placed in the four directions surrounding the sacrificial fire. And the kusha grass has deep roots, and these roots should be facing the east according to this verse. And Maharaj Pariksit went to a sacred place on the bank of the Ganges, and Maharaj Pariksit also performed 3 horse sacrifices, Ashwamedha yagas, on the bank of the Ganges. And nowadays, the rivers aren't as the rivers of the world tend to be more polluted than they were in the days of Maharaj Pariksit, but still the waters of the Ganges cannot be polluted, and one who is in spiritual consciousness, he'll take bath in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Sometimes during the rainy season, the Ganges is polluted by mud and foam and bubbles, but still one who is in spiritual consciousness, he'll take bath in the Ganges without considering the condition of the Ganges water. And in Calcutta, the Ganges is considered more polluted than in places like Rishikesh and Hardwar. But still, those who are spiritually advanced, they'll take bath in the Ganges in Calcutta, even though sometimes they have to push aside human stool, which is floating down the Ganges. And also, Ganges, you'll see dead bodies floating down the river. But still, the Ganges remains perpetually pure. And the rivers of the world are considered daughters of the mountains. And the Ganges is the water of the causal ocean that emanated from the big toe of the left foot of Lord Vishnu. So the Ganges is transcendental water. And taking bath in rivers considered first class. Taking bath in the ocean is second class, and taking bath in the pond is considered third class. And most of the rivers are connected because the rivers flow to the sea. So even if one takes bath in the ocean in Los Angeles, he's getting the benefit of Ganges water, because the ocean currents distribute the Ganges water all over the globe. And there's a very nice description of the Ganges in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's called The Descent of the River Ganges. The Ganges is glorified in all the Vedic literatures. Sankaracharya also glorified the river Ganges. There's a great poet, Keshava Kashmiri. He composed 100 verses in praise of the Ganges, and this is recited before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the 5th canto, chapter 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, text 1, Sukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, appeared as Vamanadev in the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. Then he extended his left foot to the end of the universe and pierced a hole in its covering with the nail of his big toe. Through the hole, the pure water of the causal ocean entered this universe as the Ganges River. Having washed the lotus feet of the Lord, which are covered with reddish powder, the water of the Ganges acquired a very beautiful pink color. Every living being can immediately purify his mind of material contamination by touching the transcendental water of the Ganges. Yet its waters remain ever pure, because the Ganges directly touches the lotus feet of the Lord. Before descending within this universe, she is known as Vishnu Padi. Later, she received other names like Janavi and Bhagirati. After 1,000 millenniums, the water of the Ganges descended on Dhruvaloka, the topmost planet of this universe. Therefore, all learned sages and scholars proclaim Dhruvaloka to be Vishnupad, situated on Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. Text 2. Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Maharaj Uttanapad, is known as the most exalted devotee firm determination and execute devotional service, knowing that the sacred Ganges water washes the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Dhruva Maharaj, situated on his own planet, to this very day accepts that water on his head because he constantly thinks of Krishna very devoutly within the core of his heart. He is overcome with ecstatic anxiety. Tears flow from his half-open eyes, and eruptions appear on his entire body. The seven great sages, Mrichi, Vasishta, Atri, and so on, reside on planets beneath Dhruvaloka, well aware of the influence of the water of the Ganges. To this day, they keep Ganges water on the tufts of hair on their heads. They have concluded that this is the ultimate wealth, the perfection of all austerities, and the best means of prosecuting transcendental. Having obtained uninterrupted devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they neglect all other beneficial processes like religion, economic development, sense gratification, and even merging into the Supreme. Just as Jnanis think that merging into the existence of the Lord is the highest truth, the seven exalted personalities accept devotional service as the perfection of life. After purifying the seven planets near Dhruvaloka, the pole star, the Ganges water is carried throughout the spaceways of the demigods and billions of celestial airplanes. Then it inundates the moon, Chandraloka, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode atop Mount Meru. On top of Mount Meru, the Ganges divides into 4 branches, each of which gushes in a different direction, east, west, north, and south. These branches, known by the names Sita, Alakananda, Chakshu, and Bhadra, flow down to the ocean. The branch of the Ganges known as the Sita flows through Brahmapuri atop Mount Meru, and from there it runs down to the nearby peaks of the Kusarachala Mountains, which stand almost as high as Mount Meru itself. These mountains are like a bunch of filaments around Mount Meru. From the Kusarachala Mountains, the Ganges falls to the peak of Gandhamadana Mountain and then flows into the land of Bhadrasavarsha. Finally, it reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. The branch of the Ganges known as Chakshu falls onto the summit of Mayavan Mountain, and from there it cascades into the land of Kutamala-Varsha. The Ganges flows incessantly through Kutamala-Varsha, and in this way also reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. The branch of the Ganges known as Bhadra flows from the northern side of Mount Meru. Its waters fall onto the peaks of Kamuda Mountain, Mount Nila, Sweta Mountain, and Sringavan Mountain in succession. Then it runs down into the province of Kuru, and after crossing through that land, flows into the saltwater ocean in the north. Similarly, the branch of the Ganges known as Alakananda flows from the southern side of Brahmapuri, Brahma Sadhana. Passing over the tops of mountains and various lands, it falls down with fierce force upon the peaks of the mountains Hemakuta and Himakuta. After inundating the tops of those mountains, the Ganges falls down onto the tract of land known as Bharatavarsha, which she also inundates. Then the Ganges flows into the ocean of salt water in the south. Persons who come to bathe in this river are fortunate. It is not very difficult for them to achieve, with every step, the results of performing great sacrifices, like the Rajasuya and Ashvamedha Yagyas. So some of the glories of the River Ganga, and in the Mahabharata, Karna, after he was born from the maiden Kunti, he was thrown in the Ganges River, but later on he was picked up by Adirata, and his wife raised Karna. And before leaving home, Maharaj Pariksit was a responsible administrator, and he handed over the charge of this earth planet to his eldest son, whose name was Janamejaya. And Janamejaya had three younger brothers named Bhadrasena, Ugrasena, and Bhimasena II. And this principle of primogeniture is practiced even today in the United Kingdom. The eldest son is generally first in line to the throne. So now Prince William is in line to be the next king of Great Britain. Are there any comments or questions? Yes, Maturnath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. When you first started speaking, you mentioned when you joined Srila Prabhupada's movement in 1973, and you had mentioned that the devotees were sleeping with their head to the east, I believe. And then you said something about the north as well. I was just wondering, this is what is recommended?
Yes, this is one of the Vedic injunctions, and that there are many rules and regulations, and Prabhupada said that to the American devotees, if I gave you all the rules and regulations, you would faint. There's this one regulation that passing urine, one should not face the east. That's no offense.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. So, going on this point, how do we know what injunctions are, I don't want to use the word unnecessary, or trivial, but aren't as important? Is it just that as we progress in spiritual life, then we can focus on those?
Yeah. Therefore, every devotee needs a spiritual master to guide him, and these rules and regulations are practiced according to time and circumstance. In America, there's no kusa grass, but still we perform sacrifices even without kusa grass. But as far as possible, every devotee follows the rules and regulations. But according to Rupa Goswami, the most important rule is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Always chant Hare Krishna. And His Holiness Donovan Maharaj has established this sacred place in this state of Missouri, so it's not necessary to travel 10,000 miles to take bath in the Ganges, because we have all the facilities for spiritual life right here. miles to visit Vrindavan, because you're living in Vrindavan, the Vrindavan in West Virginia. Because wherever a pure devotee is, he creates the atmosphere of Vrindavan. Advaita Acharya says, wherever you are, my Lord, he was speaking to Lord Chaitanya, wherever you are, my Lord, there is Vrindavan. It's time for the Sankirtan Festival. Thank you for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
So we'll read, once we see Sri Gaura-Nitai, we'll read the book scores for this week. For the pleasure of their lordships, Sri Gaura-Nitai, Srila Prabhupada, the Sampradaya Acharyas, all the assembled devotees, Tulsi Maharani, Lord Nrsimhadev. This week we had 10 book distributors.
Oh, that's nice.
This is the last week of the Prabhupada December Marathon. Haribo. So in...
There you go. Helping down your
Oh, can everyone grab some instruments for ecstatic celebration? In 10th position, with one small book,
I'll make you.
in 10th position, with one small book and one big book, for a total of 1.25 book points, Radhastali Devidasi.
Hello.
In 9th position, with...
That's going to be cool. Thank you.
Oh, can everyone come up to receive some ecstatic Sri Gaura-Nitai Prasadam? In 9th position, with 2 magazines, 3 small books, 2 Maha Big Books, for a total of 4.95 book points, Magadari Prabhu.
Hello.
Haribol. In 8th position, with 4 big book, with 5 small books, 2 medium books, and 4 big books, for a total of 6.25 book points, Mridanga Prabhu.
Hello.
So that's 10. In 7th position, with 3 small books, 1 big book, and 3 Maha Big Books, for a total of 7.75 book points, Jai Keshava Prabhu.
Hello.
In 6th position, with 4 small books, 10 big books, 6 Maha Big Books, for a total of 23 book points, Maturnath Prabhu.
Hello.
In 5th position, with 3 small books, 16 big books, and 20 Maha Big Books, for a total of 57.5 book points, Bhaktajiyo Prabhu.
Hello.
In 4th position, with 11 small books, 7 big books, and 27 Maha Big Books, for 63.75 book points, Bhakta Damodar Prabhu.
Hello.
In 3rd position, with 38 small books, 11 medium books, 22 big books, and 18 Maha big books for a total of 73 book points. Bhakta Fred Prabhu.
Hello. Dr. Fred.
In second position, with 17 Arabic small books, 2 Arabic Bhagavad Gitas, 25 small books, 26 big books, and 44 Maha big books, for a total of 183.25 book points, Rishi Kumar Das.
Hello.
Hare Krishna. And in first position, with 1 Arabic Bhagavad Gita, 69 Arabic small books, 69 small books, 59 big books, and 75 Maha big books, for a total of 439.25 book points. Bhakti Avatar Prabhu.
Hello.
Haribo. And we'll say the highlight of the score, total score after the highlights. Bhakti Avatar, could you share a highlight with us from this week? Is the wireless one out there?
Hare Krishna. I can't remember, I think it was from this week, but I was at the mall with Bhakti Damodar, and there was this one lady that walked by, and I said one of my normal lines. I just said, "Hey, you have like really good energy, and how do I, what's your secret," or something like that. And her first answer immediately, just like not even no second, not a single moment passed, she just immediately said, "Well, because I'm a spiritual being having a human experience." And I was like, whoa, and nobody's ever said that before. So I gave her the books, and she took them. And there was a video I put on the group chat, maybe everybody saw it, of her. And anyway, then she, I just gave her a card. I didn't even get her number. Usually I get people's numbers, but I just gave her an invitation card. And her and I think it was her husband both came to the program last night. And it was her dad, and they stayed for a really long time.
Jose Gomez.
What is it?
Jose Gomez, yes. They both came, and they were both met Maharaj, and they were both really amazing. And Mataji was actually, I was talking to her right before I left to go to finish my round. Tears were falling from her eyes. She was just very much appreciated it here, and they said they might come tonight. So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Sankirtan Ki Jai.
We met a lot of cool people this week. Actually, there was one person named Tony that Bhakti Fred and I met who was just really sincere and talked to us about how he was in the military and he was really eager to read the Bhagavad Gita. But the one that stood out the most was this guy was walking towards us at Legend Shopping Center, and I told Bhakti Avatar, "That guy, he looks cool," or something like that. And Bhakti Avatar started to talk to him, and I didn't mean to interrupt them, but I just shouted over, "I think I've met you before." And then Bhakti Avatar asked him, "Did you get one of these books?" And he said, "No." But he looked at the books and then said, "But you chose the right guy," because I guess he was really interested in spiritual things. And I started to walk away, but then he points over back at me. He's like, "Wait, you went to school with me." And he said we had the same world religions teacher, which is where I first heard about the Bhagavad Gita. And that teacher got some of the students, including me, to go to New Vrindavan for a holy festival, the first year of college. So it was just really cool to see him again. And I ran up and hugged him.
Really?
In West Virginia University.
He was there?
Yeah, he was from West Virginia University.
I will.
And he said that teacher got him interested in spiritual things. So he took the Bhagavad Gita. Transcendental Bhakti Shri Krishna Ki Jai.
This was the most or Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. This is the most I've ever done books, and there were so many interactions that I'm actually struggling to pick one. But to be honest, the night that we went out and stayed out till 12 New Year's Eve, or New Year's, whatever it was, that whole night was something that when I wasn't in devotee association, I was hoping that I'd be able to like be involved in at some point in this life. And we met so many people. We met some individual named Scooey Louie. He was a homeless individual, but I handed him the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was the happiest person that I've ever given a book to. I don't know if he'll read it. He said he would. He was uber excited, saying that this changed his whole day and that it brought in the new year amazingly. He chanted Hare Krishna with us, and he was inquisitive, but it was hard to tell what would happen to that book, to be honest. But his inquisitiveness and his desire to read, like I told him that this is brighter than the sun, and he was like, oh, wow, like, thank you so much. And there was another individual named Tony, the first day that I went with Rishi, that I was kind of praying for him to come here and meet Maharaj, because he was a veteran, and he was just saying some things that were pretty intelligent. So I still pray that he comes. All glories to Rupanuga Veda College.
Hare Krishna. So Bhaktaji, Rishi and I, we went to Zona Rosa, and Bhaktaji and I, we were walking around, and I went in this restaurant, and I talked to the girl at the booth or whatever, I don't know what you call them. The hostess, yeah. And I just said, this is a book of meditation. Could you give a small donation? And she said, yeah. Gave me a 20. That was the whole interaction. And yeah. Transcendental Book Distribution, Ki Jai.
So my highlight was we went to this place called Nebraska Furniture, and we took a look around there, and it was really weird, because it was like a whole bunch of karmis, and they're all shopping for furniture, and it was just a weird situation to be in. And so we, at the end of it, we were just like, we're just going to get out of here, because these people are all talking to employees, so there's no use in trying to get them any books. But at the end of it, we saw this security station, and there were like 5 security guards all sitting around talking. And at first we said, no, we're not gonna give them books. But then somebody was like, somebody said, like, you should give them books, or someone should give them books. And so I decided that I wanted to do it, and I went up to the station, and I said, hey guys, I gave them the whole spiel. And there was one security guard who was saying, like, I'd be interested in that kind of stuff. And so I told him about the books, and he really liked it, and he got the books. So I thought it was a cool interaction. Thank you.
Transcendental Book Distribution, Ki Jai. Bhaktaji showed him the picture in the Bhagavatam and said, we can get a horse body, we can get a cow body, we can get a demigod body. So yeah, we just ask a donation. And he asked the security guard, asked his fellow security guard for the money. Okay. Maternath Prabhu? see it here?
Yeah.
Just read it right now. This is the total score for Rupanuga Vedic College. 195 Maha books, 146 big books, 13 medium books, 159 small books, 86 Arabic small books, 3 Arabic Bhagavad Gitas, for a total of 859.95 book points. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. I don't really remember an interaction from this week because I'm very dull. I guess I had a picture of one that I just looked at, and we went into a store. It was like a marijuana store, and there was a boy with some long hair, and he had a rock band T-shirt on, and I recognized the band. They were a pretty kind of off the wall band. Not a lot of people recognize. So I commented on his shirt, and I told him that these books they will keep you high forever. You don't have to keep taking these things, to get high. And his eyes lit up, and he took a Science of Self-Realization.
Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Jai Keshava Prabhu Ki. Maybe he can tune in on the Zoom? Okay. The rest of our highlighters are in the kitchen. So it's you and then Magadari and then Radhastali Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, we had a fired up kirtan at the plaza, especially towards the end when all the other book distributors showed up. I approached this couple, they looked pretty young, so I just said, hey, you want some books? Showed him the Science of Self-Realization, and he gave me a 20, so I gave him a Krishna book too. Transcendental Book Distribution Key.
Give $20 and get a Krishna book too. Haribo! Would Magadari share a highlight? Radhastali Devi Dasi? We're ready for a highlight from you.
Wow. So, thank you. We went to the downtown area, and oh no, that wasn't very nice. Well, I went to the gas station yesterday after the picking up the Whole Foods, and at the gas station I always get out books. I mean, not like that, but it's a good place. So I went there and I brought some books with me, and I walked out of the car and there was a cool guy, and I passed him a book. He was nice. And then I met another guy and I passed him a book, and I was asking for the donation, and he pulled out some Tylenol, and then he asked me if I was thirsty, and he pulled out something out of his shirt, like a can of soda or something. And then there was another guy, and I passed him a book, and he gave me a couple nickels, and that was my book distribution.
Hare Krishna. So we went to the plaza on Saturday, and from afar I saw these two young ladies, and they were half dressed, and I figured the book distributors are probably not going to approach these ladies, so maybe I'll try. And so I went up to them, and they were shivering, just trying to get these nice pictures of themselves, for the evening. And I was just saying, hey, you two look really nice. And, I was wondering if you'd like these books on yoga and meditation. And they were like lit up. They're like, wow, that's cool. And, I was like, you two just seem really cool. And so I wanted to approach you, and I thought you might like these. And they're like, yeah. And I just asked for a donation. They're like, well, we don't have any money. And I could see they were not holding anything. Like they just really had little to no clothes on and no purses, nothing. And I was just like, oh, Krishna, what do I do? Like they were holding the books already. I was like, well, we have cash apps. They were like, yeah. So they donated $10, and then they tried to give the books back. They're like, do you want this back? And I was like, no, you just donated for them. You could have them. And they were so happy. They were really young. So I hope that they always remember Prabhupada. Jai.
Haridas Thakur ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you everyone for such a fired up Prabhupada marathon this month. Hari Bol.